I gotta do this every freaking video because that bitch Ariana wants to steal my spotlight. Hello, my favorite people. Today we're going to be reacting to a video that has been highly requested since I began my culture series. So, from the very beginning, people were telling me, compare British cops or the British police system to American police systems. I've been putting the video off because, as you all know, America is like in a state of hell right now when it comes to the division line of one, race, but also colored people and police. So this video could not be more prevalent, but also a lot of things are going on in my day-to-day life that I actually experience. It's not just like I'm watching it through TV like some of you. I'm actually living it. So this video is going to be very, I don't want to say hard to film, but it's definitely going to be very real. So yeah, here we go into, what is the video even called? American cops versus British cops, aka Bobies. Like the video, subscribe if you're new here, check out the second channel, linked in the description, first pinned comment, and follow me on Instagram. Yeah.
Compare American cops and British cops. This video is sponsored by Terminator Genisys Future War. Today we're going to compare American cops and British cops, but for a second, let's imagine we are living in the future and the machines are fighting humans. Terminator Genisys Future War is the first mobile game. Whatever we might think about the police, one thing that's certain is that we are fascinated by them. As early as the 50s, the police crime drama started filling our TV screens, and long before that...
My mind, oh my god, why did I think she was like getting hit from the back? What's wrong with me? Am I the only one who thought that? Look at this. Hold on. We're going to replay it because I don't want to feel terrible about myself.
As early as the 50s, the police crime drama started filling our TV screens, and long before that, Arthur Conan Doyle and Edgar Allan Poe planted the seeds for the genre of detective fiction. The good cop, the bad cop, or even the rebel with a cause cop kind of shows in the 70s have evolved into more realistic series such as The Wire, which give us a more nuanced version of police work and those that do it.
So he just accredited basically Edgar Allan Poe, and I forgot the other name, for the genre of crime and investigation. Is he talking just about in literature or also like these TV shows? Because in America there's like at least 50 different police shows, Chicago PD, LAPD, even like lifestyle TV channels have like actual shows where they go along with the police, like on their shifts. It's like a vlog televisionized about the police work. So is that the same over in the UK? Let me know.
Dashcam footage from police vehicles has also become a staple in the online content we consume. Today we are going to concentrate on real-life cops, and perhaps the two most famous, sometimes infamous police forces in the world, in this episode of the infographic show, American Cops versus British Cops. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. Prior to what we consider an actual police force, the ancients had many ways to police the polis, or city. Slaves in ancient Greece would handle the rowdy crowds when tempers flared, while the Romans might set the Praetorian Guard on out-of-control rioters. Through the ages, there have been myriad ways to maintain public order, and also some pretty gruesome punishments for those that breach the accepted rules.
The guy with the freaking cross. I think that was probably the worst time in civilization and society, whenever the church was the head of government. Because it's so impossible. I feel like it's impossible to escape corruption, considering how corrupt many church systems and religions are. So we can go back and forth in the comments if you want about that.
Okay, it wasn't until 1749 when a judge named Henry Fielding created what was called the Bow Street Runners, the first time Britain had anything what we can associate with today's police force. As British cities grew at a rapid pace under the Industrial Revolution, so did crime. And so on September 29th, 1829, the Metropolitan Police Service was formed in London, and it is said to be the first modern police force ever created. The man behind it, Sir Robert Peel, explained why England needed cops. I want to teach people that liberty does not consist in having your house robbed by organized gangs of thieves, and leaving the principal streets of London in the nightly possession of drunken women and vagabonds. Why were they nicknamed Bobbies? Well, after their founder, Robert. As you know, the USA was noted for its Wild West outlaws. One of those was Billy the Kid, who was shot by Sheriff Pat Garrett in 1881. Like Britain, America had ways to control crime, but for a long time there was no formal police force, and so the job of keeping folks in line often went to private contractors such as the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Systems including night watchmen, and even what some called goons for hire, weren't workable as the USA grew in population. population. It's thought
Goons
that the
for
first
hire.
American formal police force was created in Boston in 1838, New York City followed in 1845, and by the 1880s, just about all American cities had an organized police force. Now that we know something about the history of these two countries' police forces, let's look at the present day. The number of police officers in just England and Wales has decreased significantly in the last decade, which has become a...
Okay, this has been a while, but I actually, like, up until this point, you guys know I've struggled with understanding the whole concept of the United Kingdom, but I officially have it down. Obviously, like you just said, England, Wales, on top of that is Scotland, and to the right would be Ireland. 4 countries make up one kingdom.
Political issue in the UK. The number in 2016 of officers in the force was 124,066, down from 143.
So in the last military video we did, didn't they have even less people in the military than they... So, yeah, I think they do. At least in the time that this video was made, there were less people in the British military than there were in the police force.
1,769 7 years before that. The number of full-time officers working in Scotland in 2016 was 17,242, and the number in Northern Ireland was 6,773. That's a total of 148,081.
Northern Ireland. So all of Ireland is not a part of the United Kingdom, just the north part of it. Why? No disrespect, but whatever.
Officers working all over the United Kingdom. The population of the UK is 65.64 million, so roughly there is 1 police officer for every 448 people.
Oh, no!
Much of the British media and the public are saying that is not enough.
That's not enough.
As the crime rate rise in the UK is rising faster than it has in a decade. This includes a rise in...
I keep pausing it, I know. Yesterday, I uploaded a reaction to CCTV footage, witnessed some things that I guess could not go on YouTube because YouTube took it down and I got a strike for it on the channel, but it definitely opened my eyes to the crime and crime against civilians that goes on in the UK. So yeah, man.
Violent crimes and homicide. Over the pond in the USA, crime rates are much higher, and as some police departments are looking more like military units, the role of police in society has met with some controversy. Finding the actual number of sworn police officers working in the USA in 2016 isn't that...
Our crime over here isn't as violent, I feel like, as y'all's. Ours is about drugs. Well, I was about to say abuse, so I guess that too. But it's not like just killing people in the streets, aside from gang violence. But gang violence is not all throughout the country. So there are a lot of organized gangs, but they're about drugs. It's never about hurting civilians or anything like that. Even in, like, I'm going to talk about the West Coast specifically. Those gangs, yes, they have beef with each other, but they never... It will never go as far into, like, them beefing in the streets where others can get hurt. Those gangs usually want to protect the communities. Yes, obviously, that's a contradiction because they're also producing drugs to the community. But I feel like they're still not as violent, like moped gangs. But if you do want to use Chicago as an example, then that's a whole different story. Chicago is scary.
This is because figures given by the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics haven't been updated in a few years. The total number of police agencies in the U.S. is around 18,000, but that includes all branches of police. If we take just local police departments, that number is more like 15,500, according to PolitiFact. The old data that is often cited said that in 2008, there were 765,000 officers that had the power to make an arrest. The U.S. Department of Justice gives the number of 750,340 for 2012. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, that number has shot up and is presently about 900,000. U.S. population...
I'm not even going to say it yet. I'll say it a little later.
Is 323.1 million, so that means that roughly there is 1 cop for every 359 people. One of the major differences is that in the USA, police carry guns, as do 36% of American households, according to the Washington Post. It's reported that in 2016, 135 police officers died in the line of duty, with around half of those that died being fatally shot. The Guardian reports that the number of officers...
I could say something here, but I already know it will be controversial. Do I want to say it? I'll hold back.
Killed in the line of duty in the UK is a total of 11 since 2010, although many officers are assaulted in the UK. In 2015, it was reported that 23,000 assaults occurred against officers in just England and Wales. In 2017, the Police Federation of England and Wales reported this figure to be not even close to the real number. It said there were 2.4 million assaults in 2016, meaning an officer was attacked every 13 seconds that year. 300,000 of them involved attacks with deadly weapons. The report said the average police officer
Why? Maybe because people were drunk? What the heck? Every 13 seconds in the UK, a police officer was attacked. That's crazy. Oh, man.
Is assaulted 19 times a year. On the other hand, in the USA in 2016, police officers killed a total of 1,093 people, according to...
That's what I was about to say. One of the rhetorics that people go against for the whole Black Lives Matter movement and defunding the police is that blue lives, as they like to say, no one's blue, so you don't have a blue life. But anyways, police officers basically also have their lives at risk when they're doing their job and die while in the line of duty. But as this video just explained, and I know this is old statistics, not even barely a fraction of the police officers who die from fatalities measure up to the deaths of civilians. And he hasn't talked about the percentage of officers who have been assaulted while in the line of duty, but we're obviously going to hear that in a second. So I don't think the rebuttal of Black Lives or Blue Lives Matter, or the idea that police officers also are in danger, stands to the point of their abuse to civilians. Because the most obvious point is that they chose their job. We don't choose to be black. We don't choose to be Arab. We don't choose to be Muslim. You're born into the family and into the race that you're just born into. An officer goes into training and signs up to be a police officer. It's two different completely, one's a choice, one's a life. And on top of that, I hate when people say, if you think we should defund the police, then you're an idiot. When they don't even know the history of America. Our forefathers defunded the police, aka British soldiers who were there policing them with no consequence. That's why the Declaration of Independence was written. It's literally in the Independence. The Declaration of Independence. It's literally written in there, defund any tyrant, just like they did. It's the most American thing you can do. Defunding the police is literally one of the most American things you can do. Our forefathers did it. How do you think we escaped British rule? Fucking idiots. Let's get back to the video.
.org. In the UK in 2016, a total of 5 people were shot and killed by police. The total number of people shot and killed in the UK since 1990 is 67. We should add here that regular cops in the UK don't carry guns, but armed police can be called when it's thought guns are needed. Police in Northern Ireland are different routinely.
So they don't publicly carry guns, but if they do think a situation requires one, they can get one. And I think it's also interesting that guns are illegal over in the UK. I'm sure I was going to say that probably stops a lot of crime, but then again, I just remembered you all have machetes and knives and stuff, so it just transferred the weapon of choice to a blade. Which I guess is still better than a gun, because I feel like the life expectancy would be higher. What do you think? Could a gun kill you? Well, obviously, a gun will kill you more likely than a stab wound. That's a stretch. I don't know. Comment down below your thoughts.
Carrying firearms. According to the newspaper The Mirror, in 2016 there were 1,863,524 legally owned guns in Wales and England, most of which were shotguns. It's thought there are another 277,000 guns in Scotland and a further 150,000 legally owned guns in Northern Ireland. The same newspaper said
that's
there
a
were
lot of guns for a small area.
Legally owned guns on the UK streets, which has raised the question if the UK police should be given firearms. The murder rate per capita in the US is still 30 times higher than in the UK, which might not be surprising considering there are more guns than people in the country, according to the Washington Post. As for assault...
Wow. That's embarrassing. There are more guns in our country than there are people. That's terrible.
On officers, there were 51,548 assaults against U.S. police officers in 2015, with a total of 14,453 injuries sustained. With this in mind, how does life on the job compare between the two forces, and how do you even get a job as a police officer? In the UK, you can join when you are 18. There are no restrictions on height, but the force does ask you to be good enough physical...
So you can join the military when you're 15, 16 in the UK, but you have to be 18 to join the police force. Why?
Mental shape to undertake police duties. No formal qualifications are required, but you will need to pass some tests to get in. Pass them, and you are in, just as long as you haven't committed any serious offenses in the past. It's similar in the US.
I feel like I'd rather join the Queen's Guard, but I know that's a longer process, because y'all were saying those are like legitimate soldiers, but the "Don't touch the Queen's Guard!" It just seems so interesting. But I know I wouldn't want to wear that hat in the heat or stand for 12 hours. Okay, maybe I just like the aesthetic of the Queen's Guard, but I wouldn't actually want to be one. Never mind.
Although the police force does usually ask for a high school diploma and that you are either 18 or 21 depending on the department. You'll have to train at a police academy and have either a clean criminal record or have only committed minor offenses. There is no minimum or maximum height or weight limit, but in the academy you'll have to pass certain physical agility tests.
Yeah.
Nowhere does it state you have to enjoy eating donuts.
Anyways, so I guess the paperwork to get in is harder in the US than in the UK for the police force.
But in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, you can expect to start your career as a police constable on anything from $25,000 US to $30,000. If you work hard, UK career websites say that within about 7 years, that wage can be $48,872.
In 7 years, you could have your doctorate. You're waiting a decade to make $50,000, and if y'all tax the same way we do, you're really only going to be making what, $35,000? How much does the Queen's Guard make? Change careers.
You should work a 40-hour week, although police work can often mean overtime and also emergency call-outs. You'll get 23 days annual leave and also full sick pay. The pension varies depending on time worked, but the average police pension in the UK is thought to be around $20,465 a year, and the normal retirement age is 60. In the US, salaries differ from state to state, but a rookie cop working in the NYPD can expect to earn $46,288.
So after a decade of the UK work, if you join the NYPD, you'll be making that your first year. Now that is... What's the word? Like, it's more of a push to do it. Huh. But then again, NYPD, it's not like it's an easy job, though. So still, $50K, it's just like how they say nurses can never be paid enough. Maybe it's the same for a police officer. You can never be paid enough to do your job.
After 5.5 years, this could rise to $90,829
Jesus Christ.
if you have...
Holy, almost 6 figures in 5 years. That is definitely worth it, I think.
Well,
if you're doing it for the money.
Wages closer to $30,000 and others $70,000, according to career website Crom. You'll get 10 days paid vacation.
That's just
to start with,
NYPD.
but after 5 years, it will increase to 27 days. You'll also receive unlimited fully paid sick days, medical benefits, dental benefits, and optional retirement after 22 years on the force. Like the UK, you will work around 40...
Optional retirement. You can retire after 20-something years? So I could retire... If I join the police force in NYPD, I don't know if he's talking in general, I could retire when I'm 40. Now, how much money would I have to live off of, though, is the question. But still. In the UK, you can retire when you're 60, but in the US, if you're a police officer, you can retire when you're 40. I would never be a cop, but that's cool, I guess.
Hours a week in shifts, but that might change with overtime. How much pension you receive can be affected by multiple factors, but various websites put the average police pension anywhere from $58,000 to $62,000. With money in mind, we'll end the show there. Where would you rather be a cop? The UK?
Alright, going off that question, where would I rather be a cop? Neither places. If I were in the UK, I would still be a nurse like I plan to be a nurse here. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new here. Make sure you like this video. Comment down below any other UK-US comparisons, or would you guys like me to compare US to a different country? I'm open to it all, so as you guys know, always, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking the video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.